What's keeping me from reaching my goal, although I put everything that I have into it? Am I just doomed to failure for the rest of my life? One of the things you got to understand, my friend, is that you're supposed to fail. Because failure is the stepping stone to success.
I have failed far more times than I've succeeded. You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. Because failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful.
Because failure is an experience that lends to wisdom that ultimately makes you a stronger version of yourself. Thomas Edison, right? When a reporter asked him, how did you feel about failing 1,000 times? And he said, no, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 different ways that it wasn't gonna work. But every time he found a way that didn't work, he was growing stronger. He learned something, he discovered something. You are discovering something about yourself, and you're exercising your character every time you get up and try something. It's not about making $1 million, and it's not about the light bulb. It's about what you learn along the way. It's that journey, and you're on the journey, and guess what? The journey's hard, and that's why most people don't do it. Most people aren't willing to get on that journey because they're afraid to fail. Every time you fail, it means to me that you're doing something. Go out there and fail. It's the greatest joy because it says so much about your character and it adds so much to who you're becoming. But we live in a culture where everybody wants something for nothing. They see Michael Jordan on the end. They see all the successes at the end. They see Steve Jobs.
Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. He has only made 146 of those. He has missed over 700 times. You know what they write about? When he make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you gotta do is make one. I've been to over 200 pitch meetings to pitch ideas in Hollywood. Out of those 200, they have picked 5 of them. But you know what them 5 was? Hits. In 33 years, 5 ideas got picked. All I need is 5 hits. You just need a hit, man. So when you fail, it's a part of the process. Keep going. You're supposed to fail. Shit, who you know that gets it right all the time? That's impossible. Matter of fact, when you fail, be glad about it.
Don't just accept it, but embrace it. It is the law of nature. Love it for what it is, because if you didn't fail, you would never be able to appreciate success.
Every time you fail, you're one step closer. What's going to happen is if you just keep swinging, you're going to get a hit.
Take chances. Don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big.
See, a lot of people, because they don't want to make any mistakes, it takes us to the next level. A lot of people don't want to fail. I saw a guy last week, Bob Boyd from Columbus, Ohio. Bob Boyd introduced me to motivational tapes. Bob has had at least 30 failures that I know. 30 business failures. Incredible. So I wanted to hear this deal that Bob was bringing me. Les, I've got to talk to you. Bob said, Les Brown, I've got a deal. You know, you get exposure to a lot of people. Man, I've got something going. Man, this thing, man, Les, it's a money machine. But here's what was going on in my mind. Bob didn't mention anything about all the losses, deals we'd lost some money on. It was like this is the first deal he ever brought me. You know what Winston Churchill said about courage, Pat? He said, courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So you want to courageously hold on to your dream and not lose enthusiasm. And he was so fired up. You've got to see this deal. With the things you're doing, you're now on PBS. Unless you'll make a fortune. Can't wait to tell you about it. I said, tell me, Bob, tell me. I said, Bob, I want to be a part of it. He said, now explain to me what I just told you. I said, I don't know what it is, but I want to do it. I want to do it. I didn't even know. See, you get fired up about something. People will come to see you burn. They want to go too. So I like the fact that Bob has not lost his fire. Bob is still hungry. Bob is still searching for a way to make it happen. He doesn't care about people talking about it. Bob has turned a deaf ear to that. People will do that too. You know, people talk about John Kennedy Jr. failing the bar, but did they make a bigger deal about him passing as they did when he failed? No, you know why? People like to see you fail. I don't know why it's set up like that. That's why talk shows are so popular. So people like to hear other people's misery. Then they go magnify it in their own lives because that's all they focus on. Bob Boy went to conquer his volcano like that gentleman who decided it doesn't matter how many times I fail. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they think. This is something that I want that gives my life meaning and value.
I was a millionaire by age 31. I'm broke by age 33. Making foolish decisions. That first money, it's really hard to keep. But sure enough, I fell for some of the temptations. How many colors does it come in, right? You know, I'll buy them all. You know, that kind of sort of recklessness. But anyway, that and a few other experiences, and, you know, some of my newfound wealth was on paper, and that disappeared. From poor to rich and from rich back to poor, what do you do now? So I just simply went back to work. Went back using the formula I had used in the first place to do well and made many times more what I did the first time. You just have to go back to work. The fancy cars had to go, and you go back to a modest apartment and pull everything down to start over rather than trying to keep living up here when you should have to start over back to the street and just put it together again. No different than the farmer who plants in the spring and it's all gone when the hailstorm is finished. He goes back in the spring and says, let's try it one more time. So you try it again. If you treat it right and keep the right attitude, you'll be stronger than you were the first time around or the second time around. When I first started working on my fortune as well as my living, my mentor said it depends on your attitude. To get up to pay some extra bills is one thing. To get up to lay the foundation for your fortune, see, is a whole different attitude and mindset. So if you have the right attitude, no matter what's happened, if you just readjust your attitude and your philosophy, start again. Some of the great fortunes are made after the person turns 50, 60. When you're 20, you don't have much experience to invest. Doesn't mean you can't do okay. And when you're 30, you have a bit more experience to invest. And it's true, you can tip either way, to be discouraged by it all or to be inspired by it all. The magic is you can turn around and make another fortune. The mystery is not everybody will do that. Some will use it as a reason to succeed, others use it as a reason to give up. They followed two boys, twins. The father of these two boys was a scoundrel and a drunk. One of them turned out to be a scoundrel and a drunk. And they asked him, how come your life turned out like this? And he said, well, right, my father was a scoundrel and a drunk. What else would you expect? The other boy had turned out to be a professional, doing very well. And they asked him. And he said, I didn't want to be like my father. Same father. One used it as an excuse for living a poorer life, and the other one used it as a reason to make all the necessary changes. A big share of our life is going to be shaped by attitude and by influence. Good question to ask. Who am I around, and what are they doing to me, and is that okay? What have they got me reading? Where have they got me going? What have they got me doing? How have they got me thinking and behaving? And is that okay? And if it's okay, fine. If it isn't okay, change it. We have to practice limited association. Some people you can be around a few hours, but not a few days. And then some people you have to walk away.
How many of you know that if you had your life to live over again, you could do more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. That proves the point that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. I've found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all.